Greetings and welcome back. This is another video generated from a viewer asking a question, and I'm going to go through a couple things here. They asked, as I have a best start video for the Oxbow, and they asked, well, I'm going to start a game in the Valley. What do you have for the best start in the Valley? Could you do something for that? And you got it, of course. And also I asked some questions about controller settings, so I'm going to try using a controller. So I've got a controller, right? Let's give it a go. I did go through just to check it because I wanted to make sure that when I played I knew where I was up against and set up some things. I had to change my sensitivity to be 1 for horizontal and vertical, and you should definitely dial this in wherever works for you. But I noticed oh, it's so painfully slow to be on the slower settings. And let's see here, I made it so it's toggle because I don't want to hold down the keys because I'll probably need my fingers doing other things for different keys, and I don't want to have the press and the hold going on. Now, I have an Xbox style controller, and your presets will work well for whatever controller type you're using, but this is where things got a little dicey for me. I tried using the different settings, and if you go, you have to change it, and then you have to press Y in order to check it, and then you can see what the binds are. I'm gonna be honest with you, I went through these a few times, and I'm finding that I can't do it. The thing that gets me every single time is that I don't want to have to... Inspect mode needs to be one of the bumper keys. That's kind of where I'm at. I need inspect mode to be one of these, right? Because I don't want to have to hold down with my thumb on a key that I might need to move with, right? So that's the thing that stood out for me. And, this unfortunately is a classic thing that happens in console controller style games, and a comparison between mouse keyboard style and controllers, where you can't customize the controls unless you get a mod. And I'm guessing somewhere out there somebody's made a mod for this, and I hope they did. Because customizing controls with the controller is a big deal, right? It's nice to be able to decide exactly what key do you want to control with, and that's always been a little bit of a beef for myself and some friends of mine with when you get a game ported over to consoles, because then the controller styles tend to not allow you to customize so much, which is unfortunate. All right, well, if we're doing our best start, I'm gonna be honest with you. The things we're gonna want to have on, if you'll permit it, and of course you play a game the way you want to, is that I'm going to say that we need to have fast crafting on and fast building on. The reason for that is that if we're going to try to get a leg up and move quick, it's going to help to do this, and this is really the only thing, honestly, spoiler alert, this is the only thing that's going to help us really go fast in the game. I'm also doing this because, honestly, the amount of time that I have to play my games is really limited, because I'm a dad, I've got a family, and I got time got to spend on other things, right? So game time's got to be precious. It's got to be more concentrated. I got to get a lot more joy out of it, I guess I could say. And I don't want to spend my time just sitting there staring at the screen or having to set down the controller down and walk away to watch it craft a stack of things. So that's a setting that I'm going to change for me, right? And you can change it however you want for you, right? But let's do this. There's a starting screen. There's a whole backstory. I'm going to have you all watch that, and I'll meet you in game. And here we are Racemir, and we are fleeing from conflict, which in my playthrough, my first time playing through in the game, I tried to kind of have a vision of getting into that and RPing it up a bit, right? Because that's kind of just how I roll in games like this. I like to take a little RP aspect of it. It's fun to get into the story, right? And what I would try to do is I'd try to when I would make my settlements, I would try to consider what it would be like to defend it, right? Because you can build the coolest town in the world and have all these neat things everywhere, but as soon as an army walks into a really beautifully laid out town without any defensive thoughts, then they tend to just roll straight through. So I tended to try to have a little vision of that. Was it any good? I mean, look, it's not a game that's designed for you to defend yourself in. So you fight bandits and that's about it. But an army walking through it, no, there's not much you can do in our setting in the game. And, for visuals, it's just fun. So, fun for me anyway. Well, first off, we got to get through here and we got to grab a whole bunch of sticks. We got to grab a whole bunch of stones. Our goal is to get a large collection of things to make a bunch of stone knives. Now, when we think about stone knives, you're always going to need an even number of stones. So every 2 stones will make you a knife with 5 sticks. So we need a lot of sticks. There's some pigeons. You'll be thinking about some pigeon pie out there. I love that somebody brought that up in the comments, and I have never had pigeon pie, but I know that there's a lot of entertaining different foods out there that I know that I have not tried. I have definitely tried haggis, and I'll tell you right now, it didn't look right, but it tasted better than I expected. I'll tell you what, that's one of those things that you can't just look at and be like, oh yeah, this is going to taste exactly how I expect. It did not. It was impressive. It's maybe not a thing I'm going to do again, though. But that's just the thing. And I tell you what, y'all, when I sit here and I'm holding this controller, I first off, I apologize. There's going to be so much more noise. The controller I got is definitely super cheap, and it's, you can tell it's super cheap because definitely it doesn't have any muffling to it. The keys are real hard press, so it's all right. I mean, it gets the job done, right? But I apologize in advance for the amount of noise that you will definitely be hearing through this particular playthrough. So let's get in this and let's do this thing. Let's gather up our stones. Hey, check that out. Now here, this is the thing. And there we go. See, I'm going to max that out. I'm clicking the right trigger so I can pick it all up at once. Potion of strength. I'll take it. I don't need a wooden shovel. I don't want a wooden shovel right away at the start because we have a fairly limited amount of carrying capacity and no free backpacks. So no free backpacks. There's no free ride in the valley, yo. There's no free ride in the valley. We're going to be working for everything. So we're going to have to just make do with what we got. And that means I don't want to carry too many things. Will I need a shovel later on? Probably. And it'll save me, what, 2 logs maybe when I get to that point? But we can chop down a tree for that. So we'll take care of that then. We have a large stack of things. We're going to get ourselves going here. We're holding down buttons. We're going to get to 150 because that's a nice even marker. And then we'll press to go to... Nope. Okay, you can tell that I don't know my keystrokes yet. Alright, so we'll go here, and then we'll craft more with Y, and then we're going to make that happen. Now, why am I making the stone knives? You will see shortly. It's because of the tech unlocks. It happens so fast. It's really nice. So, there we go. Now we got a workshop already. And is that going to be important? Well, yeah, kind of. One of the things that's going to limit us early on in the game here, so you're aware, is that we can't do some of my tricks that I do in the Oxbow. Because your first building is a quest-based item, it means you have to finish your house before you can do anything else. So, I'm thinking that when I decide to do this thing... Well, we gotta talk to Unigust. Now here, as you go through this, and I am clicking through it, and obviously when you play, please take the time to read through the storyline, read through everything, and make sure that you have gotten immersed in it, because it is fun. There's a good storyline. And in this particular playthrough, unlike the Oxbow where it's just kind of like, oh, you're the stranger who just showed up and you have the, you're clearly not from around here, but the story's a little more limited. There is a story for Piestovia, right? And you as a character are a piece of that. But for this one, you are a very particular character with a very particular background, with a really in-depth storyline, and that's really fun. So please do take the time for that dialogue. Now, this is our youngster who wants to be a young knight, and it's really cool because you are doing all these great things to encourage people in an area. And I don't know, like I said, it's a good storyline. We're gonna sell something. Ooh, can I romance you? Seriously? Oh, right. Sorry, man. Alrighty, so let's sell all these beasts because that's just the thing. I don't need these rolls. It's convenient to have them, but honestly, there's no reason. Alright, that gives us a small bit of cash.
How is life treating you?
Let's get out of here. Now, I do want to get some things. And by the way, Alwyn's story, you're going to be rolling through Alwyn's story a lot in this, and it's really kind of fun, honestly. I think he's got a good amount of character development through the story. It's nice watching everything happen with him. Now, let's see here. Next thing, I'm going to recommend that we start thinking ahead to our first farm, because that will be important. I'm going to want flax, because yes, always want flax. Let's see what I can get away with at the start. Finding those coins is a big deal. If you didn't find those coins, obviously this is not exactly where you're at. And my suggestion then would be, we got to earn up that money, right? And what we're going to do here is I'm just going to get enough of this to do my first farm.
Ranger,
and call it even.
see you around.
Now, if you don't have enough, my suggestion would be get going making knives. The knives don't sell for much, but realistically speaking, you can still do a good amount with it. And there's a lot of rocks in this area. So as you go through around here, see there's stones around here. We can definitely get these. And there's going to be little miniature side of the road POIs that we're going to go for. And again, man, I can hear those click, those controller keystrokes. Oh my goodness. if you want to gather up more, feel free, because obviously there's a ton of knives here, and this is an opportunity where you could stay in this area and you could craft stone knives this whole day and you could have a lot of tech. You don't have to be rushed, but I am trying to do best start, which means that we are trying to get as much done in a day as we possibly can. Now, I made a quick error that we're going to go fix, because it's not going to be the best start unless we do all the things that we should be thinking about doing. I need these reeds because our first house and our first buildings, they take reed. No question, no choices. We have to have reeds for the first bit. And that being said, we need to think about our starting build location so that we are making sure that we are near reeds and we are in an area where we can be sure that we can get to reeds, because the first few are going to take a bit and are going to be, we don't want to spend our whole time running across the map just to get reeds. Are we going to be scamming it a little bit like I was in the Oxbow and just buying all of our supplies? We have a place we can do that, and I'll show you exactly where that's at. First thing we got to do is we didn't flirt, right? That's a huge mistake. So let's see if we even can. Oh yeah, let's how you doing? Yeah, oh yeah, yes, okay.
So long.
And obviously that's that. So that's the end of our first little bit of flirting, and only one person I could flirt with. Unfortunate. Now let's see if I remembered what button the crafting key is. Oh right, good show, man. All right, we'll make those stone knives and then it's off we go into the wild yonder. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to suggest a location and you're going to decide where you want to go, because you know what you're doing. I'm going to suggest that we go, oh dear, oh my, right there. All right, y'all. Ooh, it's like it was timed. It was perfectly timed. The things you're looking for as you travel are these. Yeah, buddy, 8 coins later. Let's go. I'm rich. The first one was really a hit. By the way, there's nothing over there for you to take, so I'm not going over there. We're going to go and we're going to head up the area. There are, what's the best route to take to get there? I think it doesn't matter. If you head this way around the shoreline, then you have the chance of running into the shoreline or the riverside POIs. And honestly, the riverside POIs are great because you can see them from a great distance. So I find those to be nice. Like right now, oh, there's one right over there. Cool, let's do this. So we'll get across the river. Oh yeah, B is my jump key. I'll tell you all what, I am getting there. Alrighty, fertilite. I mean, alright. Bucket full of poop. Bucket full of flour. Yes, there we go. Okay. I gotta get used to my fast keystrokes, y'all. We can also kind of weave through here and see if we can find... Look at that, bob and weave, bob and weave, bob and weave. We gotta see if we can find any more things. And it looks like we're gonna kinda not have much of an option, yeah? Now, I know I have built in this area over here, which I find awesome. Oh, look, a logging camp. Let's go. So we are essentially, and in your playthrough, I really hope you have good luck as you go. We are looking to get lucky with our finds, essentially. Like, right? Like, this is what we are hoping for. There we go. I gotta get used to the timing on things. Oh, that's a big one right there. Ah, boo. I mean, it's a thing. Log mead. Oh, good. I have a stone axe. I was supposed to cut trees. Okay. Now, getting used to this. I apologize. I'm like getting used to this stuff. It is a thing. So we have to equip ourselves some quick bar slots. Looks like a stone knife is on slot 1, but that is not going to do anything for us. There we go. All right, let's go. Now, I'm almost over capacity. So what we're going to do is we're going to get to our start location and start doing things. So let's get across this river. Now, I, of course, did a silly thing, which is I'm trying to carry too much, right? Like, it's just not a good move. So I'm just going to drop these logs for now. It should be enough to allow us to go a little faster. We are close to the build location at this point, and I don't see any other POIs that are worth looking for. So we're just going to roll on up. Now, there is a stream you can follow to get there if you ever get lost or if you have any question about how to get there. The reason for this particular POI, there's 2 major things that stand out to me. 1, there's a mine, and that's a big deal. And 2, it's next to 2 villages that have very convenient things. One of the villages, well, the first thing that villages have that's really convenient is fast travel locations, which allows you to get wherever you want once you have the cash. It also happens that one of the villages has a lumberjack, which is really convenient if you decide that you want to buy your way up on logs. And the other village has an herbalist, so you can immediately start getting potions right away at the start, which is very handy indeed. So, it also is fairly convenient that you can gather some stones on the way in. I'm doing that thing again where I'm gathering too many resources that I shouldn't be gathering. I am a silly, silly man. This is it. So we're going to build here. Now, we do have to finish our quest line to chop down some trees. But I am going to head over to this area and just start dropping stuff because we are carrying too much and it's time to be sure that we can just deal with the whole setup that we have. So that's too much. We need some salted meat to limit the amount of stuff we have to do. I don't need all... actually those sticks aren't a bad idea. We'll come back to that in a moment. Alrighty, let's get some logs going on here. Now, thinking back, and I hope that you can do this. Actually, you can do this easy. My tip for when I picked up all those logs, if you happen to have also gotten a bunch of logs, just make a hammer out of it right away. You're going to need it. So you might as well have done that. I chose to forget. So let's get this going. We'll make our first setup here. We need to have our first home done. Obviously, we are just going to chop down the trees for the sake of the quest line, but also we need the actual logs as well. That will get us through this part of the storyline and also set us up for our later work. Obviously, we chose to chop down maple trees because maple trees are way more effective at getting us logs. And having four logs per tree is really handy. You can tell I'm a key spammer. I can't grab the thing. I'm just gonna spam the key until I get it. Alright, now we need a hammer, and this will help us out with our our carry capacity. So let's go for that. And then we need to hotbar that beast. There we go. Woo! Look at us go. Look at me learning how to do the controls. Oh my goodness. So I'm thinking, with my first home, I would prefer to have better insulated walls, but I also don't have to worry about my person's happiness. And I see tons of sticks around us. So I'm going to go ahead and just make this thing a wattle house at the start. Is it what I want to do for tech? No, not even slightly. But it is okay for the starting thing here. Let's get out our hammer. Oh yeah, I don't need the hammer out to build things. Dude, seriously, like I got to remember these things. It's me going between Sengoku and this is just, it's a problem. There we go. And then we need some sticks. But before we do that, we're going to drop some stuff. Alright, y'all. I'm going to gather me some more sticks and stones and not break my bones. Alright, well, I happened to drop my logs into the body of this thing, and if I finish the foundation, I'm a little nervous that it's going to get stuck in there, so we're going to do that. We're going to just plop it in there so we can get through it. Alrighty, let's get our stuff set up here so we can be done with the initial parts. Now, obviously, we need more logs, and that's going to be our first classic problem we have, and that's going to be classic because it will be all through our time in this early bit, is getting all those logs. Could I go buy some from the villagers nearby? Absolutely. But I don't think we need to worry too much about that. We'll chop away. Alrighty. And by the way, something that kind of helps in an early, like, hey, why not type thing, is you can just kind of eat dandelion as a small gain of a stamina potion. It's not a truly awesome stamina potion in the sense that it's not like it's giving you 50% less stamina consumption, but it's still less stamina consumption. So, in all honesty, I do still think it is worth your time. Ooh, we're going to need to craft a new axe. Oh man, as I get used to this more and more, it's definitely, controller is nice. There's a lot of good things about it. I appreciate the fact that it's got good comfort to it, easy to carry, easy to use, and I think I'm kind of getting used to it now. And it takes a little time, right? Like, it does take a little time to get used to things. Without a proper storage, I'm going to drop a few things in here just so we have them out the way. Alright, so then from here, we're supposed to do a few things. We're supposed to hunt for an animal, survive a season, so you can tell that we have a while, right? Like, we have a little bit of time ahead of us. Now, obviously, I'm not able to, I'm not able to do a potion, so I'm going to just turn up the brightness for y'all here. There we go. Now the next things, let's see here. So really, when it comes down to it, we want to be getting as many buildings done as we can at the start and going from there, right? Like, that's a goal. This quest line, honestly, I think getting the rabbit trap done, you are going to be able to do that with ease. It does start us off the right way, which is it's telling us how we can gain tech. It's giving us instructions as to how we can expand our skill set, since obviously by having those traps made, we are going to gain some skill. It's great. Traps are here in furniture and decorations. With traps, we get to do the basic rabbit trap. And we'll put it somewhere that we know we will walk by. And the reason for that is because we want to remember it. That's the key. Crafting a wooden spear is going to be super easy because all we need to do is have it. Obviously, wooden spears are not the best, but what's going to happen for our hunting quest is I'm just going to run up and punch a rabbit in the face, and that's going to be just fine. So we'll be able to get through that. Next thing is let's keep going on this theme of getting unlocks, right? Where we want to be sure that we are getting all the tech we could use in time. So what I'm going to try to do here is get as much in our initial crafting and building as we can get away with. And obviously all these maple trees around are helping me out. Alright, well, we finished up the well, and now let's move on to our resource storage. Is it really worth having resource storage right away? I would argue yes, in the sense that this is where you get to really change things for your setup. If you want, after building this resource storage, you have just turned on the free teleportation service in Medieval Dynasty. So, and I'm checking my fit. I don't want to have that looking ugly. Okay, so what I'm saying is that once you get this resource storage down, you can build wherever you choose, right? Where if you have one resource storage in one location, then you have another resource storage in another location. They're connected no matter what, no matter how much distance separates them, which is super cheesy and super awesome at the same time, right? So my suggestion, I would say that it's worth just making your resource storage right away, and then if you decided that you wanted a different build location where you want to actually have your village in a wider, more expansive region, well then by all means go for it, because now's the time where you can already start doing that. It also doesn't hurt because I need the build tech, and I've got the reeds, and I've got the resources. Let's just make that resource storage happen. Alright, that's nice. Got that thing done. And then, next step we're going to need to do is get that farm thing going on, but also we don't have leather. Oh my goodness, the amount of noise that the clicks are going to make, I apologize. You will definitely have noticed the extensive amount of dandelion I used, where I've definitely really emphasized, like I've had a dandelion going pretty much the whole time, right? There's a reason for it. Any little bit of savings you can get is worth it. Stones I'm not going to get rid of because I have a plan. Now we're obviously in a tough spot already as far as we need to get a few things going for farming. We need that leather bag. I also have a whole lot of mining we could do, which would gain us extraction skill, which is great. We also have some production skill to get going. So what I would say now is that I really, really want to get my production tech up to get the mine, or not the mine, so I can get the smithy. If I want to make money, the easiest way for me to make money right off the bat, there's two ways. One is to go the route of making the wooden vials, and there's a great comment from a person with great details about all the ways that they've made things work well for them. I appreciate that. I always appreciate any feedback that people give in the comments, and I do recommend y'all read through the comments. There's some very insightful people out here. Our smithy will be able to do copper and manufacture copper knives for good money. You can also make wooden vials in the workshop, which is a doable thing immediately, right? Like we can build a workshop right now and accomplish that goal right now. If I get to the smithy fast, I can also take advantage of things there. So what probably would be a good idea is if I can get myself to do both, right? We can use the wooden vials as a way to get some tech and as a way to gain some cash. We can also then use that to propel us into having our smithy. And with the workshop, it's going to be convenient because we are, where are we at? We're at, we need 50 tech for that, and we're at 13. Let's see what we can get away with here. Placement wise, these will be easy, just because obviously it's a fairly cheap building to build. And now we need a lot more trees. Alright, it's a little early in the morning, so I'm going to take a trip down and gather up reed. So I'll show you our basic run for that one, but also let you know that there's a convenient location not too far away. You can just buy it as well. So we happen to have built in a location where not only is it going to be convenient in the sense that we have fast travel locations, and we also have a lumberjack we can buy raw resources from. And we also have an herbalist, for getting potions. But we also conveniently have one of the two seamstresses in the area, which is going to be a huge deal. So this build location does take advantage of a lot of really, really handy and important things. So when I chose this location, I do want you to know that this is definitely based upon making a best fit start. So when you think about this spot, is it going to be your ultimate ending village? No. This is the same strategy that I used in the Oxbow, which is to make an outpost for your logging, your mining, etc. And then your actual factual village is built wherever you see fit. And you just recall that you can build wherever you want, and a resource storage acts as a, medieval teleporter, which is a hoot. So here we are with our reed, which is great since we have so many different buildings that have to have reeds on top of them for their roofing. The thatch roofing is kind of a big deal. And I'm just curious, in the comments, just for fun, how many people have played Agricola? Because whenever I play Medieval Dynasty, I always get taken back to playing Agricola, the board game, and it is super fun. So, I mean, it's an epic board game, so it does have a lot of steps involved in it, but dude, I love it so much. It's so fun. And the thing that stands out for it is that you have to use reed to make your roof, right? Which is fun, because here I am making roofs out of my reed with thatch. But some of the other options for roofing types involve these technology cards that allow you to do different things and not pay the same amount of resources, which obviously the Carpenter card, if you've played the game before, you know what I'm talking about. The Carpenter is just simply supreme. Next to the Wet Nurse, it's hard to beat. So between my wife and I playing the game, if one of us ends up with a Carpenter or the Wet Nurse, we're just like, dude, not fair. It's a hoot. Anyway, so I love it because here I am gathering all these reeds to build my medieval farm. Yeah, for sure. Yep. 100%. And there we go, another level of survival. Seeing as we are gaining skill and survival so fast, which is nice. And by the way, I am very intentionally just gathering a bunch of reeds, and I think that this is actually worth your time. It is going to give you tech fast, and that survival tech pays off over time. We do want to get a bunch of levels in extraction too, obviously, because that's going to give us mule. So let's see what we got with this. So when you think about all of what we had, honestly, extraction knowledge is the best bang for the buck for me there, just simply because there's nothing else worthwhile. And I know I need to take a level 3 skill. I don't need the alcohol resistance, but I guess food and water, that's a good one. And then we're out of things there. Crafting knowledge, yep, I'll craft more, so I have no choice. I have to take something in that tree. Hey, you're going to notice that the daytime is on here, and it's not quite the same as it was earlier. That's because when I was doing my editing, I noticed a key thing that I did not do, and I don't want to leave you in a spot where you don't, have everything the way we should, right? So if we're trying to make a best start, let's make sure we do. I chopped down some trees, and you may want to do that in this little area here, and we're going to put our spear in our inventory. Now, why is that? Well, because this area has boars in it, and I talked before about how I need leather bags. Here's how we get the leather bags. That way we can actually start the farm. And you're also going to note that I do start the farm at the end now. I do have a strength potion on, and that's because at the end of the video I end up mining a bit. So just so you know where things are coming from. You may or may not have a stone or a potion of strength on you. If you do, that's awesome. If not, well, we can make do without. So we're looking for boar in this area. The reason is because I need the leather, right? You might also note there is clay here, which is fantastic. Alright, now we're gonna see how well I can hunt. Yeah. Am I throwing these over his head? Oh my god, boar. Yeah, you're gonna slow now. That's right. That's right. There we go. And we also... Oh yeah, a knife. Well, I just needed to get me some... stones for a knife. Okay, so now that we're here, we have definitely taken down our first boar. I am dirty as can be, of course, because I've been mining. We should definitely make ourselves a wash tub in our village, because we're going to be dirty a lot and we don't have anywhere to bathe. Okay, check that out. That's 5 leather. That is so good, because now we have the leather bags, and that's exactly what we needed. Now, could we, while we're here, finish hunting up this area and maybe even take on some more boars? Of course. There's also that fox you can see over there, but we don't have to necessarily do that. There's also clay, obviously, in this area. There we go. Let's give one more roll here. Ooh, I tell you what, we're getting deadly here. It also helps that they're facing directly at us. How lucky is that? So now we have the leather that we're going to make use of later in the video. So now back to it. So we'll head on back up, and I'll get you to the village, and we'll wrap up what we were doing. I don't want to take too much time getting back because we have our time, and it's precious, right? So we'll aim to get back. Oops. Speaking of which, right? Dandelions, and again, you've seen me make extensive use of it. Is 9% stamina savings really that worthwhile? I would argue yes. Over the long span of me using these dandelions, I probably have saved myself, a couple minutes worth of time, real world time, which is great. I will take that, right? Because Right, time is precious for us, right? Alright, y'all. This is it. We'll be able to finish 2 more buildings, which is kind of big. I'm going to need a lot more extraction tech, and that's okay. I can get that extraction tech. I can get that production tech as well. Oh, am I out of a log is what it's saying? But that's okay, because I have those logs. Okay, there we go. Bam. There we are. Oh, I see, right. I made the mistake of not remembering that there were actually 4 slots for this. So that means I don't have any more logs. Boo! I wanted logs to show you the wooden vial thing, so here we go. Alright, y'all. Now, we've got logs. Let's get in here and let's start making things. Now, the wooden vials, we are going to have to pay for, so if you don't have the scheme and you don't have the money, then that's a trick. I forgot that we have to turn these things into planks. That's my bad. But I obviously had the wood carver thing. I should have went here first is my trick. So we're going to make a bunch of planks. And it's great because we need the planks anyhow. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a number of... We're going to make a large number of wooden vials, which is going to help us get some tech. It's also going to help us get some things to just simply sell. Alright, and with that, we'll wrap up the day, since this is day 1, and from here, it is fully up to you what you do. And I hope that this has helped you out. I'm going to go just all ham, and I'm going to make as many wooden vials as I can get away with. And the reason for it is I want that tech jump. And let's see what we did for tech. I'm curious. Okay, so it's not doing as well as, the tech jump is not as good as we could have gotten out of, say, making stone knives. I think you can get a little more throughput for it, but that doesn't mean it's not worth it, right? So for what we'll do here is we'll wrap this up. And again, I want to show you the setup and why this is the key location to be, since we are here and we want to take advantage of what we got. So we have our fast travel location obviously right here. This person will be a great resource for us in time. And here's our seamstress. Now that's a huge deal, because we are going to need to take advantage of some of her goods. We need to be able to get good things like, say, a backpack, right? Alrighty, let's sell these. 250, and I'm going to get 103 coin. Huh. I don't know. I'm thinking that honestly, I kind of like the stone knife route more, but I think there's a lot of different good ways to do this, right? Like there's a lot of great ways for you to make money at the start, but they are going to be super simple, right? Like these are going to be you just doing as much as you can to get that production route up.
Hail, friend. Only the best.
Hail, friend. Hail. Let's do this. Let's get to cells. I need to sell some stone knives. That's really 7.5 for those knives. I mean, realistically, I do think that the vials did sell for a good chunk. It's not bad. Now, me being able to flirt, obviously you can flirt in this village here. You have a person right here you can buy from if you so choose. Keep in mind, this gentleman will supply you with logs, and that's for 1.5 a piece. That's worth it, because I can take those 1.5s and I can turn them into much more cash over time. So for here, I would probably want to buy a bunch of these and head back to the village with less work for me to do later.
See you around.
So with that, I now have 16. Oh man, look how much they improved this area. I just love it. I mean, they made some really great improvements to just how things look in the area, and I love it. I am all for it. Y'all, this is our initial place. This is everything we need to get a good village started. I can now build my house, and I would definitely recommend that you build your house with planks now that we have the capacity. We have a wood shed, we have our home, and I would definitely say that you're going to build the next house, and I would suggest that you build that next house stone, and be sure that you're going to get that building's limit exceeded. Oh, so that means that I need to finish this quest. So our building limit was exceeded. That means that we are currently on the development stage of camp. Yep, that makes sense. we're going to need to get more dynasty rep is what's going to have to happen. So we got to complete some quests, and as you complete your quests, you'll be able to unlock more buildings. What I might do actually right now is I would tear down this particular thing. The wood shop is good. I could tear down the well as well. Haha. I think the well would actually be my go-to. If we get rid of the well, since we have a river nearby, I think that's the go-to. I think that's the move right now. I don't have a level in extraction, so I'd like to save myself from having to do that. So what I would do at this point is I would go grab my stone pickaxe, and now I would actually use the potion of strength that I have, and I would use that in the mine, get as many resources as I can, and build that house. And here's me getting that water. Now, I did change my mode, so we're going to build, and now we're going to go over here, and we're actually going to build that thing up. I'm probably going to keep the workshop, just because I might try to do some more with the vials. I might experiment a little more with that. But now that we can build a home, let's build a home. Now, I'm going to prefer to have this in a spot where I can get a standard foundation. There we go. And then we'll get this going. Now, we do need to take on our... I need to make sure I actually get my items here. There's a rabbit trap. Let's get that potion, let's get things going here. Alright, I went back and grabbed the mead that I was definitely, that I left it hanging out somewhere. So just remember, don't leave stuff hanging out and about. I make that mistake. I'm such a clutter person. Let's see here. Let's go for that. And then, potion of strength. Salted meat. And then my recommendation would be obviously grab some of your daisies and make sure you're using those as well. And then with the potion of strength on, and apparently I'm gonna, there we go, with my potion of strength on, 4, 5, 6. That takes 6 strikes. So 6 strikes isn't terrible, but it's also gonna mean that we are in a little bit of trouble here as far as gaining things is concerned. I'm saying go for your copper deposit, because obviously the copper deposit is going to be the first one you can craft out of, and so please do keep in mind the fact that as you build up and as you do this, you kind of have no choice, right? Like, you're going to be stuck doing copper as your first resource. Then what we can do is we can plop some of these stones in, and then we can just drop our stones. There we go. And take care of the rest, right? And from here, again, be sure that you're getting that first house, this particular house here. Let's be sure that when we do this, that we are actually putting in the right settings, right? And I haven't used a controller to change the sides of the house before, so I want to see this in action, right? Bam. All right, edit for A, and then we want to do that, and then that. Oh, yeah, okay, cool. Pretty slick, pretty easy to do, right? And I'm definitely going to want to do wooden tile. We're going to need some fur, so hunting rabbits is a go here. We definitely want that. And once we get this house all set up, is it day 2 and are we doing decent? Yeah, I'd say so. I think we're doing okay. As we wrap up making the house and as the day gets closing here, we need to finish up a couple things here, right? We have not made our farmland yet. So I'm going to make some wooden hoes now that we have our leather bags, of course, from before hunting the boars. And now it is time for us to get that set up and going, right? We don't really want to lose all this plantain. This stuff is worthwhile. And look at that big chunk here. And maybe I don't want to build my field right here. I think I'll be able to find more elsewhere, so let's not worry too much about that. All right, we need our farmland. First thing we need is we need a 4x4 or an 8x2, whatever you want to do, honestly. It's totally up to you. We need to make sure that we make our initial farmland for our flax. Now, looking at how that placement goes, having to figure out how the grading system works, the north-south grading, that's a key thing, right? So we got to make sure we work within the rules of the land, right? I think I'll go with the 4x4 here. Alrighty, then let's get this all set. Alright, I will take care of this part of things, and at the end of that you'll see that we'll have everything going on, and then we'll plant our things up so we can get things finished before the end of this day. Alrighty, obviously now we need to put our fertilizer down. But where's all of our fertilizer? Well, of course I left it over there sitting on the ground, right? Alright, let's drop some things in. We do have a few things we can add into here while we're out and about, since I do have stone, and I have more logs now, of course, as well. So we will get a few of these placed in there. I took down some trees on the way back in to our area. That way I could have some logs. And this will be the pattern for the day, right? Is go get logs, get the stones, and then come back out, right? Alrighty then, it's just a matter of get the poo down, and I definitely, man, my person needs a shower like so bad. So stinky. And there we have it. Now that's a nice place to be. We already have ourselves a finished farmland. We've gotten a bunch of unlocks, which is great because it is what we want. We have some leather from hunting. We have some meat from hunting. We should definitely craft things up. I gotta eat a bit. And we'll craft up some things. We'll head into town. I am starving my poor character to death, so let's do something about that. We will need a shower on the way back in. I'd like to finish this house before we go in. Alrighty, what's going to happen next year, I am going to wrap up building that house, which means I'm going to do a whole bunch of mining and a lot of tree work. So I'm going to just do the massive fast forward thing, and we're going to finish this up. Before I get too far ahead of myself, I also wanted to make sure I did this crafting, because obviously this is something that's just been sitting in our inventory, we haven't taken care of, and we really do need to take care of this one. So there we go. Now we have roasted meat done. That's good to go. You'll notice that we now have a new level in production. That's a handy thing. So hunting those boars was definitely a worthwhile venture. We do have a food storage unlocked, which is good, but for now I think we're just going to focus our intention on getting through our work here. We will need to finish up a few things here. Let's see here. I didn't craft the bags yet, and honestly, bags are really the best way to go with leather at the start of the game. You need the money, and it's just handy. There we go. We'll also take handyman while we're at it, and let's see here. I need a level 3 skill to unlock, so I think we'll do crafting expert. There we go. As I'm working through this, a funny thought occurs, which is, you know, I could have, you may remember the trick from another video where you just make a wicker basket, and then you use that to carry your ore in and out of the mine. You definitely could do that, by the way. You could easily do that right now, and that would, that would definitely make it easier for you to go in and out of the mine. I'm going to choose not to, just to make a realistic time expenditure out of this, but you could easily do that. It would totally work. For this, now I needed to make more axes. My character's dying of thirst, so he tells me. And since we're over here, I'm going to take advantage of where we're at, and I'm going to do the tree chopping and then go back into the mine after that, so that through the night I am finishing up all of the things that need to happen. Since we don't have enough planks for the top of the house, that is a problem we need to cure. There we go. One completed house. That's good. That's satisfying. Nice to have that. Next step is let's check our tech and see where we're at to decide if we're at any close, if we're even close. Oh my goodness, we're so close. Okay, there's just no question. We do the we're in it for the tech. So now we just need to get ourselves wrapped up on this. And there you have it. Alright, well, it's time to place ourselves a smithy. This is going to be the thing that propels us at this point. Oh, building limit exceeded. That's okay, because part of that problem is that I haven't finished up that first quest line. So I wanted the house. That was a big deal for me. I wanted to be able to get another worker here. I do want to keep the woodshed, so this is an unfortunate thing to have to do, but it is what it is. We did take Master of Destruction, so we are in a fine spot. Now, could we have done things in a slightly different order? Because I could have gone and dropped off that quest right away. Yes, and that's a thing that I would have you consider doing, is that if you... We'll talk to Doppelganger shortly, and when we do that, if we end up bumping up a level, then I'll say that it was worth you going back into town just to wrap that up. I'm going to put the smithy pretty close to the mine because I do want to just kind of... I want to be able to walk right out and get my stuff in it right away. Alrighty, I think we're going to be stuck doing a whole lot more chopping. 4 logs, I do not think that's going to do it for us. So, let's try and get this thing done. So if I go here, see you later, lug. Oops, taking off my shirt. There we go. Nice. Now I can go back to working. So then I can just go down there and pick those up later, right? So there we go. Kind of quick little thing if you happen to be in an advantageous place to do that. Bam, that's it. Okay. From here, the logs are not going to be worth having out and about. Let's clean up our zone. I definitely should think about having some firewood on hand, because I have not done that yet. So let's craft a whole bunch of that just so it's done. Because when we go into town, my suggestion is we're going to bring some people back with us, right? Like, so knives, maybe we'll sell some bags because we need the money. We need the cash, yo. We're going to hawk stuff for cash. We need it. Alright, let's go hawk some stuff for cash. Because we don't have the money to buy the schematic for our copper knives, right? So, like, that's a serious problem. Alrighty, I dropped off all of our copper in our smithy, and I dropped off the sticks in the smithy. So what we're doing now is we are heading back, and I apologize that you're right here. I had the video paused, and I was not paying attention, and managed to not notice that I was not recording. Sorry about that. So here we are heading back to the first town, and we're going to get there. We're going to sell our knives. We're going to talk to Dobrina, and then we're going to be able to start advancing ourselves in the storyline. Also, we'll get some rep. We need the reputation, and then we're going to come back to our village, and we're going to hawk our good. We're going to start making copper knives, and we're going to hawk copper knives in the local area. All right, lady, tell me about things, right? There you go, proper meal. That's great, and thank you. We got porridge. Up the bill. All right, let's see here. Now we're talking, and then me implying how old she is. Alrighty. Oh, he likes that oat ale. Oh, perfect. That's gonna be the win. Now I'm supposed to get to him. I'm supposed to deliver him to. I have a 6-pack on me. How did I get a 6-pack already? So let's wrap up this quest line. And what's good here is that we're about to have money. All right, you're gonna go. So there you go. There we go. Let's get some gear. Stealing is still a crime. Yeah. Now we're starting to get some of that backstory, right? And then, of course, the choices you say are totally up to you, and it's totally on you to, like, you make the choices you want. It's gonna be fine. That whatever choices you say, the storyline goes on. So you can't say anything wrong in this. Rep change. I have delivered to him the oat ale. We are set. We're supposed to wait till the next day, and we're supposed to survive the season. So both of those things are about to happen. We're slightly drunk. Actually, no, barely anything. It is time to sell. Now, when I look at the amount of money I have, I see 87. Let's change that. I need this money. Porridge sells for 8. I don't think we need that. We'll sell some of those. Stone knives, obviously, we're going to sell a bunch of that. 85 coin. Hey, it's something, right? It's something. I might even just sell the porridge because we have plenty of food. We're not worried about that. So the bags, I think we can get some more as we go. Now, a choice you could make here while we are in town is you could choose to go buy more seeds, which could be a good way to spend your time. I'm thinking that I might want cabbage. She was 21, and he is 21. Her being 21 with crafting and extraction is nice, but that means I have to find somebody who's really a lot older. All right.
Oh, it's you again.
It is me again. I tell you what, I keep coming back like a bad rash. Alrighty, let's see here. What can we get away with? If I can get 16 of that, that will cost me a 96.
Hello there.
I think we can. I mean, we're trying to get as much as we can. I had 19 fertilizer before, so if I can get, let's get 12. And then I think cabbage seeds would be a good way to go. Can we get 12? We did it. Just barely got it.
So long.
Alright, trying to rapid spam things. It is time to go back to our village. I don't have any money for fast travel, so we're going to book it back. Now, oops, don't forget
How is
to
life treating you?
flirt. There we go.
Good luck.
Ooh, she does not like the joking. We'll have to remember that. Alright, people. With this, I'm running back to our village, and in the process, I'm going to pass by a couple things that are worthwhile. So, we're going to go over the bridge, we're going to see some sights, and then we're going to wrap up our day. And since we already now have copper Knives unlocked. It helped to finish our quest line. Let's see where we're at for management. Are we on the next stage? No, we're still stuck at this stage. So we do have a lot of things to finish up. I could have taken on more quests for people in the area, which would have definitely helped. But at this point in time, I really want to get my base village up. And then what'll happen is in the summertime, that's when we're really going to dig in and we're going to get a lot more questing done. Alright, this is our other roadside village. Now, what you will notice here is that we have a goat farmer, and we also have an herbalist, which has a quest on it, which is why you can't see it. What do we got for people? Somebody use 27. Ooh, I guess somebody use 30, but his skill set is lacking. Darn, that's too bad, because I want somebody for extraction. Not really interested in taking on a producer at this point in time, although I do have the smithy, so we could do that. Alright, so while we're here, since we're here, I just wanted to point out to you the things you can get here. We have an herbalist, and ooh, too bad. Stealing. Stealing is bad.
I believe we haven't met before.
Right. Ooh, I'm in your debt. This I have to finish before... Oh, I have to finish this before the end of the day. Ah! Let's get out of here. Alrighty, so we have an herbalist there, we checked some people, we flirted a bunch, that's good. Now let's get back to our village. Alright, now, just as a kind of taking stock of what we have a seamstress nearby who's going to have a large pool of money to sell to and also has the backpack and pouch that we're going to buy. We have a lumberjack nearby who we can buy logs from, which will help us save some time with our work. In our village, we also have a, let's see here, mine directly next to what we're doing here. And we also have, conveniently, a massive pile of sticks. So now that we're here, let's do this. It is time to make good on what we were planning on doing. 24. 24 is going to get us a big sell. This should be able to propel us up, y'all. This is where we want to be. Alright. And thank you for being here for this whole video. I know this is a long one, but ideally the goal was to get you as best of a start as we could. With these copper arrows, we can do some damage to some critters, or we can just say, meh, I'm just gonna sell it all off. No, hawk my goods. There we go. Now, we're not done yet because I still had more copper over here. Now, is this gonna be enough to make us rich? I don't know. Let's find out. But it's gonna be enough for us to get our unlocks. It's gonna be enough for us to... Oh, right. How spacey I am. It is going to be enough for us to be able to make enough money to propel us forward. There is still there's still the fields that I need to finish, but that won't be that hard. It's just take out the hoe, make a farmland, decide where you want it, and place it down. And the cabbages are quick and easy to work with. I'm doing that because they're easy access food, but more so because they'll be fertilizer for me in the future, as you saw perhaps in some of my other videos. The way you do that is you just leave the cabbage out after you harvest it, and then you let it turn into rot, and you're good to go. Need to drop some sticks here. Probably can drop my pickaxe here. I don't need to be carrying that around. Alrighty, let's see what we just accomplished with that work. We're heading back into our side village. I do need to finish this I'm in your debt quest, so that will be good to get done. That should be an easy one for us since we have so many coins. And then our day will be done, our season will be done, and we'll be able to move on.
Hello.
Alright, let's see what we got away with. That's 65 coins, that's great. 750. There we go. So that's what I was talking about. Now we're kind of sitting pretty, right? From here, we'll just go back and make copper knives. That's the whole rest of the day for me. Do I want to do large pouch? I think that this is the easiest way to get into the first bits of things you want. The simple large backpack is what you're aiming for. This gives you plus 20 kilograms carry capacity. Now, I do think that the large pouch is plus 10 kilograms. Is hard to beat.
Take care.
And we'll equip it immediately. And now, alright, before we head back, I want to make sure I have all these logs because I want to make sure we have everything ready for the rest of our work and that we don't have to deal with buying these later. So now we'll have these logs, we can get planks made, we can get our next buildings made once we're prepared. So back to the village, and it's now time to wrap these days up. I have a quest to turn in, obviously, which we have enough coins for, but I also want to be sure that we get some more money before the end of the day and get our first villagers as soon as we can. Alright, we'll drop off the logs and other things. I also do, by holding down A, by the way, on the controller, I'm able to drop that in there. I also do want to make sure that we have our stuff outside so we can work on our field. We have only one hoe left, which is not great. We'll get through that one quick. Now, I could plant our apple trees, which could be entertaining. I kind of want to give that a go as well. It wouldn't be bad to have that as food early on, right? I also do want to be sure that we get our roasted meat into a container for our people. So since we are going to, our goal is to have people on by the end of the day, then we will want to be sure that we have food in here so that we can get them going. Roasted meat's a good call. Firewood they can automatically get from the fact that we have a resource storage already. Now, I will need to come back here and I will need to take care of these fields. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop our stuff so when we come back, we're ready to go. Boom. Alright, I ran back into our resource storage because I totally spaced on having my pickaxe. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to get more copper. That's what we need before we head out. I want to make a bunch of copper arrows so we can make some cash and then we can go and sell. Alright, and with these bars in hand, and these sticks, we are set. I also pulled all the feathers that we had from our main storage, so we could max this out. 80 arrows is going to do well for selling for that. Okay, let's see here. I think we can get away with just taking this and selling what we got here. Yep, let's do that. So we'll drop this beast here, like the last one. And then I'll start storing stuff that I know we'll craft with here. We could build a bunch of stone knives just for tech unlocks, but my thought is that we're probably going to take on a crafter so we can have that stone knife production up and running. So I better get some things in here and online. Alright, I'm figuring we want to go up here and we want to, I should be checking these traps, I should be getting my experience. That's another big thing we want to be doing every time. There we go. And we'll get up to the top of this hill. We'll keep running up that hill. I do get a kick out of that basket there. You got the money. You're good.
How do you
now, let's talk about selling lots and lots of things. 520. That's not quite where I wanted to be, honestly. I wanted a lot more than that. But that's what we're going to have to do with our time here. Now, let's see here. Does he have potions and are they worth it? It starts to become questionable because it's early game and it would be nice to have some things like potion of strength, right? That'd be nice. That would save me a lot of time. 12, huh? I think it's worth it. And a potion of stamina. Let's do that for now.
See you around.
We'll keep it simple. Right, now that helps us out. We're getting further in our advancement. Oh, we have skills. Yes, let's get some things. Oh, too bad I didn't have that before the end of that one. New level. Okay. Let's see how much it costs to travel. I'm curious.
How
I'd
can
like
I help
to.
you?
Okay, not bad. Tucked key is pretty good. That's a low rate, which is nice. Lesnika's too far back. I don't want to go there. It is unfortunate to just toss money at this, but I do want to save a little bit of our time, so I'm willing to do it. Tucked key is not far away. I think I totally ruined and botched how you spell that, honestly, but let's get this thing going and let's hope for the best win we can here. Can we end up with 2 people who we can actually hire on? Oh god, 0 skill. Dude, this is awful. Hunting and, oh my god. You gotta be kidding me. This is tragic. Oh, so tragic. Oh my gosh. By the way, as far as build locations are concerned, this is cool right here. I kind of love this island setup. So if you wanted to have a creative setup between a river and now that we can build bridges, like this could be a lot of fun here. Oh, y'all, this is tricky. Definitely struggling with this initial villager setup here. Darn it. Alright, I may just get some reed. I think we had enough straw to start, but might be nice to have a little bit. Well, I better get going. Who am I kidding? Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Alright. Now, the good thing about our location is that when if I come up here and I find somebody worthwhile, we can just fast travel back to our home and deal with the fact that it cost us extra cash. Okay, I took the weird way in because I want to see if this quest is easy and something that I can finish fast. They're way up there. Okay. At this point in time, we're not going to get much work out of our workers for the day. We're just going to deal with what we got.
Greetings, stranger.
Help you with something. Ooh. No. Gardening one is not a good one. And the reason I say that is because you have to end up going to buy seeds, which we could do. What am I saying? We have that person right there. We have a farmer in this very village. Let's go for it. Nope, I didn't notice that first. Yep. What do you got? You want things. What you want. Alright, then let's get that one going here. Beetroot seeds and carrot seeds. Perfect. That's not much. These first few quests in the early game are generally very easy to do and fairly cheap. Oh, hi, buddy. Let's see here. We need a beetroot and we need a carrot. So that's perfect. Now we're already done with that. So that's good.
Comes great responsibility.
You know it. And I'm not even Spider-Man.
Doing just fine.
Holy cow. 21. Well, I'm so picky that it's running us into a little trouble.
Greetings.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Oh, I bought the beetroots. Man, you imagine that? You imagine? Just imagine buying the wrong thing and not even noticing it. Hey, buddy.
Is in my nature.
Man, you don't look as old as you sound, boss man. Alright, here we go. Alright, sorry. It helps to have the seeds. There we go. Now we got more rep. It's good to do that. Good to have those things done. Shoot. Well, I tell you what, y'all. This has been a not very exciting and not so good start to trying to get villagers. And that has definitely run us into... Look at this. It's already the end of the day here. And we are... No people. We have no people yet. Oh, man. Well, y'all, you may notice that this is a little different area, and it's me looking at the other side. Now, here's what ended up happening. So, the rest of the episode, I ended up putting together my fields, and now you'll see here is a person who's 30 who's got crafting skill, but not many other skills. I finished up my village, right? So I have the buildings that we'll see shortly, and I have the mine, and we're in a good spot for continuing, and we're selling copper knives and we're selling copper arrows. The thing that I ran into, which is the same thing you'll probably run into, is you can't guarantee your luck when you first start out. And so when I think about best start, and as in my concluding here, in my concluding thoughts, what I want to say about the Valley is that you get what you get, and in a game like this, and in a lot of games, you get a random roll for the start of the game, and you just do what you can with it, right? And so in my particular video here, I rolled with what I could for my best start in this situation. Now, would I re-roll? Would I restart just to get a better start? Maybe so. Alright, y'all, so this is what we ended with. Here we are in summer, and, as you know, there's that choice I could have made. I could have decided on a re-roll, I could decide to restart. But look at this, we have a field of 16 flax. We're now going to have to make some stone sickles, but that's easy because that's just a craftable thing right here, so we can do that. We also now have all these cabbages. That's perfect. We now have all these cabbages that we can use. I'll probably end up using them for fertilizer, honestly. I don't need them for food because we'll get meat. I've got boars up the hill, right? We've got boars over that way that we can take care of. Did we get as many quests as we could have done? Okay, no, we could do more, but we can now do that here and now. So, really, we're at a crossroads for what you want to do for your next choice. When you think about the best start in the valley, think about this crossroad. We have so many choices we can make. I could re-roll. I could restart. I could find those people like I just did. I found somebody who's 30 years old and has crafting skill. Perfect. I put them into my blacksmithy, and that's my plan for my season 1 spring. Maybe I just continue on. Maybe I forge down this pathway and say, you know what? It's not that big a deal. I didn't get villagers in spring. Let's see what happens in winter. And I've already got everything set up so I can make money. Or maybe I choose something else. Maybe I say, I know that there's going to be the big update, the autumn update at the end of November. Maybe I'll just mess around and play around for now, have some fun with this, and then I'll start a new game as soon as all that stuff comes in because I want to explore all the new content. The choice is fully yours, y'all, and I hope you enjoy your playthrough in the Valley, as I know I have. I have 15 years in a Valley playthrough, and then the Oxbow came out and I was there. I've played this since the very beginning, since it was in the early access, and I've loved watching the changes. It's truly been a game that's gotten love and attention from the developers, and I absolutely am here for it. Thank you to the developers team, and take care, y'all, till the next episode.